I'm here in Medjugorje and I'm with, what's your name?
Marion.
And
Bernhard.
where are you from?
We're from Northampton in England.
And first time here?
No, for me, I was in 1990 before the war in business.
Yeah.
And I bought a rosary bead for my new wife,
Yeah.
Marion.
Wow, beautiful. And now you are back
Yeah.
the second time?
Yeah.
After 1990?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, and how is the experience to be back?
For me, it's completely different because here in 1990 there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was just a dirt track.
Wow.
And I was in the back of the church.
Yeah.
And there was a man
Yeah.
who I was working with.
Yeah.
And it was his grandfather's property.
Wow.
Farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He sold
It's important to hold it high.
And he sold the house
Yeah.
for the exposition and at the back.
Wow.
So it's all changed.
And the spirit is the same?
Yes, Our Lady's message has never changed, and the love that she gives us through pointing her to our son is the most important thing.
And you always have been Catholic, never changed in life?
Not for me, no. I'm a convert.
Oh.
And I was born Church of England.
Yeah.
My mother brought me up Church of England. And then later in life, I decided I'd be a Baptist.
Yeah.
And then I met Bernhard.
Mhm.
And he said that he would come to my service with me if it wanted. But the first time I went with Bernhard, I felt that I was at home.
Wow. And when you entered the Catholic Church, you felt at
Yeah.
home?
Yes. And I found out when I did my final conversion that actually my grandmother was Catholic.
Wow.
But she died when my father was very young, so he didn't realise that she was from
A
Catholic
Catholic
background.
background.
So I think she brought me home.
Yes, I have. The circles want to close in life.
Yes.
And what would you say now? What is the beauty about the Catholic faith?
The duty of the Catholic faith is just to bring people back to loving our Lord and through Our Lady.
What is her role?
Her role is to guide us and
Yeah.
to, I think, take us under her mantle and just bring us in.
Yeah, so beautiful. And for you, Bernhard, what would you tell the Catholic faith? What is the beauty of it?
I was a revert. I came back to my faith as a young man in my 20s, and I thought I knew my faith. I would practice, I would go. Every time I was on business, even if I couldn't go to church, I would make a spiritual communion.
Yeah.
And then it all changed for us in '93. We went to Poland. I was the first member of the family to go back to Poland since the war. And we went from Warsaw to Krakow, Częstochowa. We were given a picture, and the sister said to us, "Go to the convent where this came from." I knew nothing about it. When we went into the church in Laganiki, Marion saw the image of Divine Mercy for the first time. So did I. And she said from that moment she wanted to become a Catholic. And I said, well, who painted this? Why is it all about? And Faustina had only been beatified 12 weeks before. So nobody knew nothing about it. And even when we arrived in Laganiki, there was an old nun in a little hut at the gate inviting people in.
Yeah.
She says few people are coming because they hear of Saint Faustina, or then it was Blessed Faustina. And since then we have now become immersed. We are active promoters of Divine Mercy and Apostolate. So I always carry with me pictures in many languages, Chinese, Philippines, Indian, because they're the greatest people on the world, because Asia is now going to become Catholic through the Philippines.
Yeah.
And the Chinese also. There are more Catholics in China than in the rest of Europe and America put together. So it's the
Amazing.
most important thing.
And what is the beauty of the Divine Mercy? Can you explain it?
It's
Chaplet.
the final call for mankind.
Yeah.
As Our Lady is saying, pray, pray, pray. People didn't realize, even back in 1990,
Yeah.
we never realized that maybe not far from Europe there was a war going on here in Bosnia.
Yeah.
And now we have war in Lebanon, in the Middle East, Africa. the
Exactly.
Houthis, exactly. And also in America as well, the division that's going on there, the pro-life versus the pro-choice.
Yes.
It's important that we listen to what is the main message for God, for mankind. I love you, live happily and live peacefully.
Yes, live happily and peacefully. That is the best philosophy of life, the Catholic faith. We have everything, the fullness.
It's what it is. Catholic means universal.
Universal, exactly. We are inclusive. Truly inclusive are we.
And when you think of
yeah.
some of the people that came here
Yeah.
in the early days, like Wayne Weibel, a great an apostolate for the, if you like to say, the Protestant faith, but I would say our other brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And we're all united now.
Yes.
And John Paul, I mean, he was, for me, I'm a John Paul II man. I happened
Me
to be
too.
in Rome the day he was elected as Pope.
Unbelievable. I was a little boy. I saw it on TV. You know, it was in black and white, already colorful, I think.
And
I stared at the
was
TV.
there.
You
And
were there at the St.
they
Peter's
said,
Square.
Said, Bernhard, do you not know there's a Polish Pope, Karl Wojtyła? I don't know. I said, it must be a fix. It has to be Italian. No, it was there. And I happened to be there. I was staying there for a few days in Rome. And on that particular day, there was the
How
election.
was that?
Fantastic. And we went...
1978, I think.
Yeah, it's 1978. And we were blessed through friends in America. We ended up at the canonization of St. Faustina in April of 2000. 32 rows from the front when John Paul said, on this day we have a great saint in heaven.
Wow, you touched me. It must have been special for you when you said when you came into the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And it's like coming home.
Yes.
Do you feel like coming home here in Medjugorje when you
Yes,
enter?
yeah.
A lot of people say that.
It's a beautiful atmosphere here.
Yes.
It's peaceful. Quiet. Even though it's very busy,
Yeah.
it's still got a peace about
To it.
Yeah.
I was last year in Malta. I just did it on the morning tour, and I came back here in December, and I said something is different here. There's something more peace.
Yeah. You've been a very good apostolate.
I love it. You know, I just love doing that.
We followed you a lot before.
Thank you so much.
I've been looking for you, so there has to be a man on a bicycle.
And look how it
GoPro.
happened. This
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
said, look, this guy wants to see you, Bernhard.
And the Coeur de Lion family, my friend, we have known each other for over 30 years
Wow.
in our parish. He used to come to some of the talks I gave, and he's got his wife has a brother, and he came here many years ago, and he's a brother with the Oasis of Peace.
Wow. Yeah.
Brother Frère, and he's now over in Brazil.
Wow.
And we saw him in August. He came over to see the family, etc., spending time with everybody. He's getting tired out before going back to Brazil for a rest, I think.
Yeah. And what is for you Medjugorje now, being here?
I think it's a call of Our Lady. We have been to La Salette. That is, anybody who has gone up there, that is something special too.
Wow.
And every time we've been there, or we went to Bauring, or we went to Banau, or Lady of Pontmain, Lourdes, there's a special call, and it's the same call. Family, prayer, devotion, pray for each other, pray for your neighbours, pray for you. Confession.
We mustn't forget confession.
Yes, be in a state of grace.
Yes.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. I tell it all the time. My brother died last year sleeping 26th of July. I didn't wake up. Be prepared. It's real what you're saying, Bernhard.
My brother passed away 5 months ago, and right at the end, Divine Mercy was there for him. Marion's mother and father also died. Not Catholics, but the priest that we knew,
Yeah.
Father Damien, bless him, he's at his heavenly reward. He came and anointed them. We were given signal graces from their death, my mother's death. She had drifted away from the church, hadn't been to confession for 40 years. Was given 5 weeks to live. On exactly the 35th day, she died from lung cancer, but she was in a holy place, and there were 64 patients terminally ill, 9 Catholic priests, and one, Father Joe, who was walking wounded, as he called himself, and he was giving everybody Holy Communion. Went into my mother, and we were standing in the corridor the day after, and we heard her crying out, Jesus, ich vertraue auf dich. Jesus, ich vertraue auf dich.
Jesus, I trust in you.
She was German.
Yeah.
So she came back to the faith. And she apologized to us for all the years of the hardship that she'd given us, because we were the Holy Joes. We used to go to Mass. We would always make grace before our meals. What do you want to do that for? And that was important. We showed her the way. And it was a beautiful end. And I know where they are. They're all safe. We pray for all their souls every day.
This is so important. It's so rich what you're saying. You say we have to pray for our deceased one. Don't forget them. They are waiting. My sister was waiting for 20 years. She did suicide, and I had the revelation here, and I did Gregorian masses. You should do masses for your loved ones. They wait desperately. Yeah. And also, we should lead like you do. Same with me. They say, "Oh, you are the Catholic one," but we should lead. We have the truth.
Yes.
Jesus did not die private. He died in public. We have to stand up. The mess is there because we are not standing up as Catholics.
The message is really simple. To those that's given much is expected much.
Yes.
And I'm human, and I fear sometimes, am I doing enough? You know, are we trying hard enough? Are we spreading the word?
Bernhard, how you talk and how you're talking now. This is because it's crystal clear water what you're giving to the people right now.
Yeah.
What is the power of the Divine Mercy Chaplet?
The Divine Mercy is the wonderful grace. Even if you would be like a little ember in the fire, which is going out, Jesus comes along, blows gently his love into you, and that little ember bursts into flame.
Like
and
your mother.
Even at the thing, Saint Faustina writes that at the end, he gives a soul and protects it, and gives him and shows him the love that he has missed all his life. And if he doesn't, then he's condemned. He condemns himself.
We condemn ourselves.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. That's what Saint Faustina wrote, and it was strange that these writings have now manifested in this time, in this modern era. But we are going so fast now.
Yeah.
You know,
you see it as well.
Technology, yes. People are, fixed on TikTok. If the Chinese ban it in their own country, right, then why are they selling it to everybody in the West?
Because we are deconcentrating us. Nobody can watch a long video. Friends say me, why do you make so long videos? We can't concentrate, read a book like we did before in the 80s, 90s.
Stop watching the news.
Yes, stop watching the news. What does it bring? You know, I studied with a Jewish rabbi. I said, what does it bring to you? It makes you depressed. Why are you watching it? Does it help you?
We used to have a dear friend in the States, Phyllis.
Yeah.
God bless her. We took her to Krakow just before she died. And she used to watch the news and shout at the TV. And I says, Phyllis, this will give you a heart attack. Turn it off.
Turn it off. Pray the rosary.
And she was a great devotee. My goodness, she would be 2-3 hours in the church praying for her family. She had another wonderful life story. There are so many stories.
So many out there.
Yeah.
And at the end, what is the power of the rosary? People miss it out. This is such a powerful prayer.
I heard the other day the simplicity of it, that it's not a repetition. Each little prayer is a grace, and it's like a stone dropped into a pond, and the ripples, you don't feel it, but that ripple has affected somebody else, maybe in Asia, in Australia, Africa, America, and we all pray together. We all have an effect on each other. You smile, I smile.
Yes.
You frown and get angry, I get angry.
Yes. Take off the TV, don't get angry.
That's it.
And confession is so important. What would you tell people? Why go to confession?
Mother Angelica had a great saying, even the finest furniture needs to be dusted once a week.
Yeah.
And we go ourselves every month. We try to do the first Friday, the first Saturdays. And we're blessed at our parish back home in England. We had a lovely priest, Father David. He's now teaching in a seminary. We have a seminarian teacher, Father Bijou now, who's now come back, and he now runs the parish. And they all believe in the confession.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, rosary, confession, after the Mass.
The first Saturday devotions.
Adoration. Yeah.
That's holidays, not holidays, I say, that's spiritual holidays, but that is also like now homework for you guys to study the first Saturday devotion.
Yes, the 15 promises.
Yes.
etc.
And last thing is like after confession, when we are in a state of grace, we can receive the Eucharist. It seems people don't understand what the Eucharist is. Can you explain?
The Eucharist is the final act of love. Give us our daily bread. And that is the bread that we are. Not the daily delivery bread in the supermarket, but the holy bread. The ones that they had in the desert.
Yeah.
The hoarfrost on the stones that they could eat. Now we have the living presence. How can a God think of something so simple? Bread. And that's as our staple, and we eat that every day. And we consume him. He's in us for 20-30 minutes. We are a walking tabernacle. He's in our DNA. He's in our blood. He's in our hearts. He gives us our thoughts. He gives us our commitments in life. He also gives us, when we look back, our sorrows. And that's why he brings it all together. What a wonderful feeling. And it's the old saying from Father Peyton, that a family that prays together stays together.
Absolutely. You experienced that as well?
Yeah. We have one child in heaven,
Yeah.
Helena.
Yeah.
That's after my Oma. But then when we came to Poland, we realized Helena Falkowska.
Yes.
What a fantastic gift.
And that's also, look, you look so peaceful, joyful, but the grass is green where you water it. It's not green at Bernhard's place where you water it with living water.
We have two adopted daughters, we call them.
Yeah?
Mother Andrea and Mother Marie St. Paul.
Wow.
She celebrated yesterday her Silver Jubilee. They're the Phoenix Five they started. From Mother Angelica from Huntsville
Yeah?
to Phoenix, Arizona. Bishop Olmsted, who was there yesterday for the Silver Jubilee, he came out to celebrate with them. And they're a growing community in the middle of the desert, Tonopah in Arizona. Look it up.
Wow, that's
Take-
another homework. Check that out. This is so rich talking to you. I want to let you go to the Mass. I think you want
Yes,
to
we
go.
can.
So the last question, what would you tell people now? Why come to Medjugorje, Bernhard?
Why not?
Why not? And you? Why should people?
Exactly the same.
Why not?
Yes.
Try it out.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Not
for
at
that
all.
beautiful interview.
You too. God bless.